TeamPokeColors family, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be spicing it up a little bit, where I'm going to be telling you guys about a story, and this story is kind of crazy. This happened, let's see, 2 summers ago, so buckle up, stick around, guys. If you're new, hit the like, subscribe down below. Today, I'm just going to be telling you guys about my experience of what it was like back in 2021. I kind of may or may not have gotten involved with the Scalper ring in terms of Pokemon cards and sports cards. So we're going to get into that. But before the video starts, I want to say thank you guys so much for all the support on the channel lately. I know we're super close to 2K subs. Shout out to all the TikTok fans that are here. I still have been posting one a day on TikTok, so definitely go follow that, link in the description. Almost at 10K followers on TikTok, so once that hits 10K followers, we'll do another giveaway of some sort. But today, I just wanted wanted to explain a little funny story, because Black Friday shopping, I actually ran into one of these scalpers at my local Walmart back in my hometown, and that's kind of what was like, oh crap, I kind of forgot that this was a thing that I did, and it's not something I'm proud of, but it's just kind of how it happened. So it started out with me getting in contact with one of my old friends from high school. He was, a few years younger than me, so he, I didn't really know him all that well. We used to work together for like a couple years, but I didn't really know he was into Pokemon, and it was, a few years later that I'd found out that he was into Pokemon, and he had a bunch of cool cards, so we did some trades like early in the year, like, March, Shining Fates release era. And then over the summer, we kind of kept in contact, and I would, kind of ask him, like, how do you find this stuff, like brand new stuff? Like, they get stocked the morning of Walmarts and, Targets and everywhere in my local area, because they would, it's kind of crazy. So they had a private Discord server. I never got into it, unfortunately. I wanted to see what it was like, because I really wanted to know, like what it was like to be in a Scalper Rings Discord server. But this buddy of mine, he was friends with a bunch of older guys, and they would go to Walmart's at like not before they opened, at like 6 a.m., 7 a.m., wait for the restock lady, and they would literally follow this restock person to different locations just to get the different products. So I think they mostly did it for the sports cards, because that was like at the time, the bigger flip. Pokemon was still a decent flip for them, if I remember correctly, like Shining Fates, ETBs. Those didn't get stocked too often at the time. This was like right when it came out, so scalpers were a big deal still. And they were trying to flip these ETBs, and then that was when the Kanto power boxes came out as well for evolutions, so they were flipping those as well for like big profits. Like, I think they charged like, I think they were $40 or $30 retail, and they were flipping them for like $150. Now obviously, at the time, like, I didn't know what was going on. Like, and there was a time I remember at one of those Walmarts I had visited, it's actually in my hometown, they had they had like 5 or 6 Kanto power boxes, with the evolutions packs, and I didn't buy them because I was thinking, like, well, they're either going to print a lot of these and it's going to turn into like what Shining Fates is now, where there's just tons of cards everywhere, or it was going to be one of those things where it would drive the price of the packs and the cards down. And I don't know, I didn't make the move on it. I should have, because man, those were a big deal. So I missed out on that opportunity. But there were some times where I would catch a restock thanks to my buddy. So I would text him and be like, hey, what time's the restock this week? Because I wanted to get all the Shining Fates product for the channel, and just wanted to open as much Shining Fates as possible, because well, Hidden Fates, back in 2019, there wasn't really that much of a problem with getting product, but now it's like, oh man, I wanted to get all the shinies, I wanted to complete the set, because I'd opened up so much of it already. And he would, be like, all right, it's going to be 8 a.m. Friday, 8 a.m. Thursday, or whatever. So then it got to a point where I was like almost undercover. So I would show up, and they'd be all waiting in line, right? And there'd be probably like 7 to 10 of them at a time. And a lot of them were regulars, so they knew who each other were. And I would just show up, and they'd, nonchalantly come over to me, and they'd be like, so what are you waiting on? I'd be like, waiting for Pokemon. When really I was like, well, Pokemon or whatever else I can grab that would be worth selling to get more Pokemon, because that's what most of them did. And then, I kind of got friendly with some of them, chatted them up, I was like, oh, just being real friendly and real nice. But there was a few times where, it got to be a recurring thing where I would just be there at the, the time of the day, and they didn't know, like, that my buddy was telling me, like, hey, they're gonna be here at this time and here at this time. And then I got some like pretty nasty looks from them, because they were like, this guy come around taking all of our stock, because you know what they usually would do is say there's like a Prism, I don't know the term, but Prism, Panini, you know, NBA Blaster restock or whatever, there's like 50 of them. They would just take them all off the shelves, put them in a cart. They'd go off somewhere in the store, and then they would just take them and divide them out equally. Well, now that I was there, that means they had less to divide out equally. But luckily for them, I just told them I wasn't interested in that, because, you know, I didn't really want to deal with trying to sell stuff. So there was a few times where I bought something and sold it for a little bit extra on eBay. Like I think it was UFC boxes or something that came out at the time. So I mean, it's not to say that, you know, it's such a scumbag thing to do, because I wasn't like taking, you know, 50 of them off the shelf, like these guys were. These guys were mad. These guys were crazy. So there's a few times where, like, okay, for example, when Celebrations came out, I know this was probably later in the year, but the summer was pretty much the height of the scalpery going on. But what would happen was my buddy who was in the scalper ring would tell me what they would do. So what they would do, which was kind of crazy, they had hiding spots in the Walmart. Okay, so this is how bad it got to be in just my hometown, and this was just one location. There's probably like 3 or 4 Walmarts within like a 30-minute drive. So you know, I'm sure they were doing this at other times. And what they would do is if they wanted something, because at the time there was a limit, so you could only get like one probably ETB of Celebrations at a time. They would grab everything off the shelves, go out in the store, different locations, and they would hide the product so that they could come back the next day and buy it. It's like, that's how bad it got. So let me tell you this, Celebration, all right, my buddy who was in the scalper ring told me what they did and where they hid the stuff. So if you ever go into a Walmart, they have kind of the middle section with like the bed sheets and stuff, and they come in these like almost ETB like square boxes, right? And they would move the bed sheets forward, put the ETBs behind it, and then just leave it there. And they would come back at a different date and come and buy the stuff. So that was how I was able to secure a Celebrations ETB for Alex, who, you know, couldn't get to the Walmart on time. So that's what I did. And, you know, it's scummy, it is, but, you know, better it go into like an actual collector than these scumbags who are going to resell it, you know, for profit on eBay or whatever they did. So like, that's, you guys, you just kind of, you know what I mean? Like, you just gotta, like, okay, whatever. But anyways, I went to a different Walmart on a different day, and I ran into somebody who was telling me about these guys, and I told him, you know, I was like, yeah, I've seen them at my Walmart too. And he's like, yeah, they came in and would just pull up a cart and just pull off all the product off the shelves, and they'd go back and divide it out. And I'm like, man, that's crazy. So yeah, it got to be real bad. And then Celebrations came out, and there wasn't a whole lot of scalper, you know, type shenanigans going on, like, you know, hiding stuff behind the you know, the bed sheets aisle in Walmart. But, you know, during the summer, that was when most of the scalpery was going on. And just being home this past weekend for Black Friday, you know, Thanksgiving and all that, I was walking the Walmart and I saw one of the scalpers, like one of the people that was in that scalper ring that I was, you know, not involved with, but I got into through a friend. I saw him, and that's what made me think of this. I'm like, oh man, they're still around. Of course they are. They're still around. That's why there's never anything on the shelves. Like Silver Tempest, never even heard of it. My local Walmart didn't even have a single booster pack. So I mean, I'm sure they're still scalping that stuff too, which is sad. But, you know, at least nowadays, like, you have a lot of opportunity to get packs and stuff. So yeah, figured I'd just tell that quick little story about how I got involved in a scalper ring a couple years ago, and tell you a little bit of the tips and tricks that if you guys are out and about, don't see anything on the shelves, maybe go check out different sections of the Walmart. I think behind the bed sheets aisle, pretty common. That's where I was able to pick up a few things. I would go, you know, just check it, just be curious. Like that same summer, I knew that's where they hid stuff. I would go and I found somebody's like, I don't know what it was. There were some packs or something that was a little harder to find, and I was able to get them and took them from the scalpers and bought them and, you know, opened them up or whatever I did with them. I don't remember exactly, but yeah, if you're ever out and about and you're looking for some product, you know, and you know that the scalpers are still out there, because they're still out there, trust me, they're still looking. They're waiting for that next big Pokemon thing, which it'll probably be around Zenith that they're gonna start scalping again, which is just unfortunate. But always check weird, hard to find spots in your local Walmart, because you might actually find some. There's one time I found some Evolving Skies single packs at a Walmart near where I live now, not back in my hometown, and they were like hidden back behind some like magic stuff. So, you know, people are still trying to hide stuff and, you know, come back later and buy them. So definitely, it's the end of the story. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the little short story, video form content. If you did, please press a like, subscribe down below. Next video gonna be great. I'm gonna be telling you guys how you can build up your Pokemon sealed pack collection. All right, it's been something I wanted to talk about for a while, and I just now have, you know, enough packs that I can say, all right, let's do this. So let me know what you guys think of this content, and let me know what you guys think of the video. Let me know also in the comments if you've encountered any of your local scalpers recently. Maybe not so much like a couple years ago when they were big and out there, but I definitely want to know, you know, if they're still out there, because it seems like they're kind of in hiding right now, because a lot of the Pokemon products are just out there and not really anything good for flipping. So we'll see what happens next. Let me know in the comments. Have a great day. We'll see you in the next video. Peace.